Hi everybody, my name is Debra Lee Fader, also known as the Queen of Kindness. This is a brand new show for you. It's called Acts of Kindness, Connecting Through Caring. And we have a lot of things that we want to cover today, but something I need to say to you right off the bat is people don't care how much you know. They care how much you care. So in order to bridge that gap, you will have to prove yourself that you can care for another person. And at that point, they will give you a bridge to connect with caring. Today's topic is finding hope. So today when we're finding hope, we really want to emphasize why it's so important. The reason for the importance is that you are building a better life. And if you have hope, you have the power to make changes. Dreaming is marvelous, but it will not fill your heart as hope will. Hope actually brings you to concrete changes, and they are improvements. All right, everybody, I want to remind you about hope. There are 3 things that we consider major when we're discussing hope and when we're trying to locate hope. Number 1, you locate that higher power. And number 2, you have a watering well of hope. We'll go into that later. And remember that you pray. And people say, well, what is prayer anyway? Prayer is the manifestation of thought. So we just talked about point number 1, which is locating your higher power. I want you to know that you can pin your hope on that higher power, and that will increase your power. And you may say, well, what is the higher power? The higher power is something outside of yourself, something spiritual that you can grab onto and you can constantly repeat over and over your manifestations of thought and of what you want to accomplish in life. And this will lead you to where you want to go next. So people also want to know, I've never heard of a higher power, or I think I should have a higher power, but I don't know how to get it. Keep in mind that yes, we are intellectual beings, but part of our makeup, part of our DNA is to have a spirituality, a spiritual side. And what you do is you pin yourself to that spiritual side, and you are able to manifest all sorts of thoughts to that spiritual side. And this is praying to your higher power, asking for ways to accomplish what you would like to do in a positive manner to bring you forward. And do you remember that we talked about the watering well, your manifestation of thought or prayer as a vehicle to move you forward in your hope? Well, this is how you do it. You think of hope as being water in a well. You're going to dig deeper down into that well, and you will release your subconscious and all the creativity that you have, and you will be able to start drinking from this bottomless well of hope, and that will bring you closer to your goals and your ability to care for others. So we talked about the watering well. Now it's time to talk about your position of faith. And faith is not a particular religion. It's not a man-made substance. It is from within yourself. You are speaking those thoughts to your higher power, which is your spiritual side. And you're going to constantly work in a way where you're in sync with that spiritual side of yourself. And when you do this through prayer, which is, remember, the manifestation of thought, you will be starting to see major changes in your life. And as long as the higher power within yourself that you're reaching out to agrees to the goodness of your thoughts, The manifestations will fall naturally into place because they're from good. In just a few moments, I'd like to tell you about my personal struggle with my higher power and building hope. You may wonder about my personal higher power. Of course, I'm Bible bred, raised, and I wouldn't change any of that for the world. However, I have had many trials and tests throughout my life. But let me take you back to 17 years ago. I woke up, I got out of bed, and I fell directly onto my knees, and then I fell on my face. I could not move a muscle. I could not move at all. But I had the strength to, out of fear really, to pull myself with my fingers and my fingernails across the carpet to get to a phone. And I got to a phone. I called my husband. I had to let him know what was going on with me. I had to call work. When I called work, I used to be such of a joker all the time with my manager. We used to have so much fun. And I said, I can't move. He said, really? I said, I can't stand up. And he said, well, then crawl on in here and tell me about it. I said, I mean it. I'm in dire need. So the long and short of it is, I was in and out of hospitals. I was in and out of wheelchairs. I almost died. They could not figure out what was going on with me. I had a mysterious illness. And finally, I had some tests for Lyme disease. And one of the tests came back positive. So what happened is they started giving me intravenous medication for Lyme's. And it took over a year, but I was finally able to get back on my feet and walk with a cane. And then eventually I was able to lose the cane, and I was doing very well. I was back on my feet, back living my life. I didn't drop a beat. And after that first year, I started to regress. And that's when I was going from doctor to doctor all over the state, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Nobody knew what to do. And so they were saying to my family that I was making it up, and that the doctors just continued to gaslight me with my husband. They would say to him, she's just looking for attention, ignore her. So he did what the doctor said to do. Stop paying attention. Well, what happened to me is that I had to pin my life on hope and on my higher power. So I pinned my life on God, and I had to learn to walk by faith. I have a book that's coming out, Walk by Faith, and you'll be able to find that at various areas. The sad part about it was it took until the year of 2017 before I was given any kind of medication. So I lost my ability to stand up straight, walk without any kind of device. So I now use a cane and I use a walker. But I am so grateful to God because somehow I've been able to avoid being in a wheelchair. And I have been told that if I did not have faith and power and hope and power and the belief through God that I could get through this, I would definitely be in a wheelchair today. So I walk by faith. So I just shared my story with you. Thank you for listening, by the way. And I just want to go over these few takeaways. Remember, every day is a different day. It's a gift from God. It's a gift from your higher power to you to continue on your journey of goodness and caring. You walk by faith each and every day. You grab onto that higher power and you let it take hold of your life. You keep reaching back into the well, and you bubble up that hope from the very bottom. And this will keep you moving forward in a very positive way. The overall importance is that you are manifesting good thoughts. So believe within the power of yourself and believe in hope. So we've covered a lot of ground today, and I just want to thank you for joining me. And if anything resonated with you at all, please contact me on queenofkindness.org or on my social media platforms. I look forward to hearing from you and have some gifts for you when you sign up for my emails. So thank you once again, and I look forward to being with you.
How does one rebuild a life shattered by uncertainty and adversity? For Debra Lee Fader, a celebrated entertainer who once graced the stages of Las Vegas, Atlantic City, and luxury cruise ships, the answer was clear: faith. In Walk by Faith with God as Your Compass, Debra Lee shares her incredible journey, a story of courage, resilience, and unwavering trust in God's plan. Leaving the spotlight behind, she embraced a new path as a radio broadcaster and worship leader, walking forward with gratitude. But one life-changing morning, she faced a test of faith she never expected. Through setbacks and triumphs, Debra Lee reveals the strength that comes from surrendering to a higher purpose and finding blessings, even in the darkest times. Her story is a testament to the power of starting over and the miracles of walking by faith. Available now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and at DebraLeeFader.com. Begin your journey of faith today.
And today we want to talk about having hope and then going to possible hopelessness, and then I'm going to pull us right back into hope again. You know, I was watching the news and looking online, and I saw that our little friend from when we were all children, Elmo, is asking people how they are, candidly asking, how are you? And because we're all from that generation of Muppets, people are being honest with Elmo online and on social media and on X and everywhere. They're saying, I'm sad. I'm not happy. I'm worried about the world. I'm worried about my family. How are we going to juggle all these bills? And how are we going to take care of ourselves should we get ourselves on our continent into major war? People are very concerned with what's going on. So that creates that decline into hopelessness. And we need to pull ourselves out of that. And the way we're going to do it is through baby steps. Baby steps work to bring us back into a hopeful attitude. So we need to lessen the stress, not give ourselves too many obstacles and too many goals. We have to remember these three things. Expectations are the key to happiness or unhappiness, and we want to be happy, don't we? So we don't want to pin expectations we had of ourselves on the past. We want to look further into the future and start with those baby steps. And how do you start with baby steps? Well, you're just very kind to yourself and give yourself limited goals. And when you, for instance, let's say you want to lose 80 pounds. Wouldn't that be fun? For me, I'd be thrilled. But I'll tell you what, I need to start small, and so do you. Put that mindset into the first 5 pounds. See how that goes. And then once you've done the 5 pounds, then you're able to move on. In fact, the first 5 pounds are the hardest. So you need to change your eating habits. You need to re-educate yourself on portion control, and then you need to implement it. So you start out small with those first 5 pounds, and after that, the next 5 pounds will start dropping, and so on and so on and so on. So take baby steps and be kind to yourself. It's very important. Be kind to others. You have a tribe that you're involved in. The tribe is your home, your family from your home, your friends and coworkers and your people that you see on an everyday basis. I would say that would really cover your coworkers and your extended family. We all have extended family members and best friends that we like to include in our lives and we like to share our thoughts with. So share your thoughts with these tribe members. Let them know, hey, I want to lose some weight this year. So I'm going to start with baby steps. Can you help me? And some of them will just say, well, yeah, I'll start going to the gym. I'll meet you there and give you all sorts of suggestions. Oh, I've got this recipe. So you want to engage your friends and letting them know as you're engaging them how well you're doing and when you're stumbling, because people, your tribe, will help you to buffer that fall that you may have, and they'll just cheer you up and buoy you up, and that takes you out of that hopelessness. And as far as the world, I think this exercise that Elmo has done is just amazing, because Elmo is someone we all trust. You may not want to put this on some sort of platform that doesn't have a childhood friend. And Elmo is one of these childhood friends for most of us, and for our parents, because they used to watch the Muppets with us as well. And the kids today are watching the Muppets again, maybe reruns and maybe other factors such as social media, and they stay in touch. So this is a good way to just vent out those frustrations, get them started, and then people will slowly come up with ideas to make their lives better. And the making of the life better begins with you. It's all in how you treat yourself and you treat others. And we want to treat each other with kindness. So we've been discussing all the ways that we can be kind to ourselves. And I once again want to emphasize how having a tribe helps you to stay in control of your life and your accomplishments.
Feeling stuck, like you're wandering through life without a purpose? I totally get it. That was me until I found Walk by Faith, with God as your compass. In this book, Debra Lee Fader shares her incredible journey from being a successful performer to finding true fulfillment through faith. Her story will inspire you to embrace change and rediscover your passion. Don't just survive, thrive. Unlock the power of faith and transform your life today. Get your copy of Walk by Faith, with God as your compass, right now.
I have a story to tell you. This is a story about medical gaslighting. When I finished my time at Mayo Clinic, and I told you about that in the last episode, we had discovered after 2 weeks of intensive testing that I indeed had MS, multiple sclerosis. Now, it wasn't evident in any other charts until I went directly to Mayo and had those 2 weeks of testing. My sister was there with me. Her name is Shelley, and she was there with me for all testing. She would drive me back and forth. We'd stay down in Rochester together. And the last bit of learning about my diagnosis was from two wonderful female doctors, and they took care of me. I received braces for my back. I received braces for my leg, and we were trying to be able to build me up into a walking position again. And they also told me that I needed to find a local doctor, and I thought of a practice that was in the metropolitan area of Minneapolis and St. Paul, because I had had such of a wonderful connection with the resident doctor for that particular practice. And that doctor, I tried to make an appointment for him. He was not available, so he put me with one of his associates. So my sister and I, and this is 2 weeks after I'd been to Mayo, I'm following all of the instructions of my doctors from Mayo Clinic. find a doctor that's close by. My sister and I went to the appointment with the doctor that was selected by the one I really wanted to see. And when we got there, that doctor let it be known to both of us that his experience with the other doctors that had diagnosed me from Mayo was not a good one. He went to medical school with them, and he was always having discord with them in some way. I don't know what it was, but he said they did not agree on different points when they were in medical school. So he left the room for a while, and when he came back, he had my full chart with him, and he said, I am not going to agree with these doctors that you have MS. I am going to agree with a doctor who is further in your past record that said that you are making this all up for attention. And he also said to remind myself, to remind my husband that this diagnosis is just to gain attention. And my family should be told too. I was just frozen in my seat. I could not move. I looked at him. I probably had my mouth hanging wide open, just like that. And my sister, this is where a tribe is so important, folks. My sister took control. She walked right over to where he was writing things down in the chart, and she took the chart away from him. And Shelley said, no, you are not changing anything in her diagnosis. We are leaving. What do you think you're going to do? What happens if she cannot work anymore? Because the doctor had also said, come back in 3 years and I'll tell you what I think. And it was just so ludicrous. This was such medical gaslighting. But because of my sister, who is so dear to me and part of my tribe, took that chart and we walked out together and we said, we're going to fix this together somehow. It's going to take some work, but we're going to find somebody else. And so because of my sister's foresight to take the chart with us and leave him in the dust, we were able to get back in the car and start plotting and planning how we were going to find a doctor in closer to me or in my area that could help, rather than going through this other medical center. So that is what we did, and I'm so grateful, because if I didn't have a tribe, I would have continued to be ignored. And one thing you don't want to do is be ignored when you're trying to take care of a goal or pass an obstacle. You need the tribe to help you, to guide you, to keep you refreshed, and to give you back your hope. So I've told you about the doctor. I've told you about how difficult it is when you are faced with an obstacle that just shocks you to your core, and you can get over these hurdles with the help of a tribe. So now we're back to hope. We need to self-advocate in everything we do. I don't want you to forget how important it is, and especially medically, self-advocate. Find out as much as you can, research as much as you can, and then try to apply, of course, with a doctor's advice, what you will need. So we've talked about all of the key takeaways, and just remember, these are the things we need to think about. Respect yourself, respect your boundaries, and that goes for others too, in your tribe and elsewhere. You respect them and you respect their boundaries as well. You need to recalibrate all of your expectations with care, and how I say to do it is with baby steps. Be kind to yourself. Don't lose your composure when you're facing that obstacle. Just think of it as you would a big work project. The only way that you can get through a huge workload is to take it apart one step at a time. And this is with your personal life too. You need to take apart all of the things that are disorganizing you one step at a time, and grant yourself the kindness and the forgiveness to go through every little step as a baby step. You can find beauty because the beauty is in the actual process that you are working through. That's where you are able to internalize all of the progress you are making. It is beautiful, and it doesn't happen overnight, folks. Nobody can change overnight. It will happen. It happens in increments. It may take years. However, don't get upset with yourself when the progresses are not happening immediately. There's no need to worry. Life is an actual journey, and we are in it for the long haul. Also want to remind you that you can check me out on my website. It's queenofkindness.org. You can find me on social media as well. And when you check out my website, you can sign up for my 12 free ebooks on kindness and on being gentle to other people. This is a very important step to take in our journey. So we've gone from hope to hopelessness and then back to hope. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.